What's going on, guys? Victor here. I got a little Cubera snapper. I'm going to show you guys how to fillet up today. 8-inch flexible fillet knife. You guys can find it linked below. Very good all around knife to just clean and skin fish. So you shouldn't really look at Cubera snapper any differently than you would a mutton, yellowtail, red snapper. They all pretty much have the same anatomy, just they're built a little bit differently. All snapper have pretty thick scales, and we're not doing a whole fish recipe, so yes, this is a traditional Western way of filleting. So what I'm going to do is, since they got those big scales, you work your way into the scales, right there, all around the head, and into the head meat. Swivel your knife, and now we're just going to outline the Cubera right along the outer edge of the body, all the way to the tail. Keep those scales off your knife. Once we do that, rest your knife on the fish's spine and just work your way up. And we do this part until we get to the fish's backbone, or the center of the fish. Okay? Once we get to the backbone, right here you're going to have a set of pin bones that are right there. They're going to be real tough. Lift up your fillet and kind of break through them. Once you got the pin bones exposed, you're going to see the rib cage. That rib cage you're going to want to go over. Just let your knife kind of glide on top of it. Once you're over it, continue on the other side of the backbone. Point the tip of your knife down. Continue, continue. And that's it. Bam. There's your Cubera snapper. There's that rib cage I told you about. You got to make sure you're over that rib cage. There's nothing left on there. All you hear is the knife on the bones. Okay, we're going to flip our Cubera over. Once again, you want to go into the scales. If you try to go with them, it's hard. You want to kind of go into them. Down here towards this fin. Flip our Cubera around. Now we're going to continue to do the same thing. Take your knife, swivel it, work down the fish's skeleton all the way to the tail. Now you can either work from the tail up towards the head. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure your knife is resting on the spine. And when we do this, we're always just trying to get to the backbone. Once we get to the backbone, lift up here again. You're going to see that pin bone. The pin bone is what connects the fish's fillet to the rib cage. Once you break through that, you want to get on top of that rib cage and kind of just work your way down. Once we're over the rib cage, tip your knife down on this side of the backbone. Just always make sure your knife is kind of hugging the contours of the fish. And that's it. There's the other side of your Cubera. That's what your fillet looks like when it's done. Now, Cubera snapper, the really neat thing about them is their jaws. They have a jaw like no other snapper. You see those fangs? If you ever wanted to do a head mount, all you got to do is remove the head like I'm going to do. You boil it down, and then you can reassemble the bones. So we're definitely going to save this. If you wanted to save the body for a good fish stock or fish head soup, you could. You can also preserve the collar, but that's gonna be a different video for a different day. The reason I like this knife for a combination of filleting and skinning is because you got a long 8-inch blade that goes from side to side of the fillet. Always when you're skinning, start on the tail side and work your way up towards the head. Pressing down firmly, left hand can kind of trail. Just like that. It's the other side. There's your skin on the tail. And when I skin a fish, I have a slight angle. My blade is not completely parallel with the skin. There's a slight angle there. The other side. Now the only thing we got left to do, the pin bones that connected to the rib cage. They lie about halfway down the length of the fillet. If you've got tweezers, you can certainly pull them out. But we're just gonna take our knife, go on one side, go on the other side, and there you go. So now this fillet has no pin bones, no skin, ready to eat. Just portion it up how you want. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like these videos, find them useful, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.